Okay, whatever. Come on.
Yeah.
So, y'all, I don't think as humans that we look at the animal kingdom and study them enough. And I think we really should, especially as women on this planet, because we've been taken out of our natural habitat, our natural way of being, and we're acting abnormally, to say the least. We are mammals, we are animals. So we should be acting accordingly. But since we are in a civilization that is patriarchal, women are not acting accordingly. Women are not protecting themselves or their young. And it is crazy because it has cost us so much. So many children have come up missing, unalived. Women have come up missing and unalived and raped and just sold and sex trafficked, and it's still going on. And women are voluntarily putting themselves in these lower positions instead of fighting back and having the instincts to know when they're being abused. They are going along with it because it's covered under religion. They feel like this is their culture to be subservient and to not protect their children. They feel like they have to protect a man above all, which is male worship. And it's a cult. Patriarchy is a whole cult. So I made a video a while back, sometime I think last year, maybe even 2 years. I'm going to put the thumbnail right here so you can see it. And I'll also, if I can remember, I'll try to put the link down in the comments. We're going to talk about how these females act in the wild and how the males act in the wild and how we could probably benefit as humans, and we can correlate what's going on in the wild with what's going on with us right now. So let's talk about this some more. Let's get into it. I'll be in and out with my commentary. Let's go.
You know the king of the jungle is actually kind of a fraud? Male lions literally sleep 20 hours a day while the females do all the hunting. But here's the disrespectful part: when a male does hunt alone, his success rate is under 30%. Meanwhile, lionesses hit 50% success rate as a team. So this dude gets the crown, does nothing, and still eats first? This sounds fake, but it's literally how lion society works. Tell me this isn't the biggest scam in nature. Bro really said I'll just roar and look intimidating.
6 cubs is a lot, especially for a first-time mother. But this cheetah descends from a bloodline of supermums, famous for raising large litters. She must hunt almost every day. Impala. They leave scent trails with their hooves to keep their herd together, which means she can track them down with her acute sense of smell. But there are those that follow her family in the same way. Larger predators will seek out and kill cheetah cubs. So to stop her family being traced, this mother does something remarkable. By neutralizing the sulfur compounds in her diet, she removes the scent from her urine, making her almost impossible to follow. In thick bush, her spotted coat blends with the dappled light, allowing her to close in on a target. But her final approach must be on open ground. Side-facing eyes give impalas a wide field of view, but their depth perception is poor. The heat haze acts like a cloak of invisibility, to move closer and closer until she's ready to strike. 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds. At last, a family-sized meal. Still, she has to make her cubs eat fast. She knows time is tight. As soon as flesh is exposed, blood mixes with oxygen, creating a scent that carries far on the wind. But she has an uncanny ability to see trouble coming and keep one step ahead. Bellies full, the whole family safe. Finally, Mum should get some well-deserved rest. But not too much.
So we're seeing that the females in nature are powerful hunters. They are wise hunters. They are better than the males. Did y'all know that it's also true for women? Throughout history, women have been the best hunters. Let's talk about it.
DNA testing showed that the skeletal remain who had these hunting tools was actually a woman. So that got Kara to start thinking, hey, if researchers' bias made the mistake of misidentifying that skeleton, how about this whole notion that hunters were typically men? And it turned out her hunch was right. Through research, it was uncovered that women and men both hunted large and small prey. And also, older women were incredibly important to these communities because they would actually teach a lot of the hunting skills. I am not surprised in learning that women were skilled hunters. In nature, we see female creatures like the lioness being a really important hunter to their community. Same thing with female orcas. Also think about ancient mythology. Artemis is the goddess of the hunt. Beyond Greek mythology, there's also a lot of examples ranging from Europe to India to Norse mythology that show that women were exceptional hunters. And Kara says this research is incredibly important because it shows that flexibility is necessary for human survival. Let me read to you what she said. Human survivorship cannot last with rigid gender roles. In rapidly changing environments, especially in groups of humans that don't have large populations, everybody has to be willing to lend a hand, and rigid taboos prevent that. So the next time someone says a woman's role is meant to be in the kitchen, you can tell them that science shows women are actually badass hunters, and also that the advanced human race exists because of us.
Here are 8 species where females run the show. Number 1. Elephants. Herds are matriarchal. The oldest female leads, guiding generations through migration and memory. Number 2. Orcas. Grandmothers lead entire pods. Their wisdom decides where to hunt, and even adult males follow their mother's call. Number 3. Lions. Lionesses hunt, protect, and raise the pride. Their teamwork keeps the savanna alive. Number 4. Ants. The queen gives life. Thousands of females build, defend, and run entire colonies. One mind, one mission. Number 5. Bonobos. Females lead through connection, not control. They build peace through unity, not dominance. Number 6. Bees. Every hive revolves around one queen. The workers, all female, keep the world blooming. Number 7. Eagles. She's larger, stronger, and leads the flight. He supports. She commands the skies. Number 8. Lemurs. Females eat first, lead first, and choose where the group lives. In their world, leadership is instinct. 8 reminders that balance isn't forced, it's natural. Because in the wild, power doesn't compete, it cooperates.
So now we know why human males shame human females about getting older and being old and bitter. They don't want you to teach the young, especially the young females, about their ways.
Patriarchy exists to override female mate selection, and religion is used to codify this. Now, female mate selection is a primary driver of species refinement. And I'm going to break down what I mean, but my dog is asleep on my butt, so we're going to have to be quiet. How does patriarchy remove female autonomy? Well, in patriarchal systems, women are treated as commodities, as resources, as reproductive vessels. This inherently undermines a woman's right to bond with and choose a mate that she selects on her own. Think about arranged marriages, dowries or bride prices, honor culture, and purity culture. All of these train women to believe that they cannot select their own partner, that one must be chosen for them. Religion is then used to kind of codify this. So most religions make male authority divine and tend to assign a spiritual value to female obedience. So this moralizes male entitlement to access to women, and it demonizes female freedom and agency and choice. So patriarchy and religion break the evolutionary feedback loop. Free of these systems, women would not select for violent or aggressive males. But patriarchy has been tampering with this natural process for thousands of years, and it is so deeply embedded in so many cultures that now women make choices for mate selection based off of deeply embedded patriarchal beliefs, which is why more and more violent and aggressive men are able to pass on their genetics.
So she said women wouldn't select from violent or abusive males, but that still wouldn't stop them from being violent and abusive. So this is why matriarchies were needed. This is why their numbers need to be lowered. That way women can be protected in groups of other women, because women are protectors and they can protect themselves even more if their numbers were lessened.
One of the reasons why men are liars is because literally natural selection selected the men who were able to lie about their value most. Those nice guys who told you the truth that they're losers, that they're broke as fuck, never got to procreate.
I don't know where he got this from, but the brokest men procreate the most with the brokest women. That's why we have a surplus of men. Women are in a patriarchy and they don't know how to choose. So we have a surplus of men. We have a problem right now. I know a lot of women that didn't require a lot from men. They were just going to be broke together. Or women out here saying that they are going to build this man up and help him, and doing exactly that, and then getting left once that happens. So
the men who exaggerated their value were able to pass on those genes. So natural selection said, okay, let me pick the ones that lie the best. Now women got the best genes, were the ones who were able to identify false advertisement better. So if you're one of those women who are gullible, that is literally the last trait you want so that you can find a good man. Because men will lie to you. It's their responsibility to exaggerate their trait. Just like you lie in your resume, same shit with guys, okay? But the women who the most important trait for women is to be able to identify false advertisement. So men are good liars and women are good at spotting lies. Because
sadly, a lot of women are not good at spotting the lies, and they won't listen to other women who are telling them how to spot the lies and not to procreate with a lot of these men. Sadly, they had to touch the stove and get burnt, sometimes a few times, before they learned their lesson.
There's about 80% of men that women just don't want. They don't want them because they're crummy choices. And in the past, these men, these 80% of shitty dudes, the patriarchy and women's dependence upon men for pretty much everything meant that these men got to have children and they got to the chance to be able to reproduce. Women needed them to survive, so they had to choose somebody. So when the top 20% of dudes were done, there was the bottom 80%, and they were like, we're just going to have to choose one of these motherfuckers. It's a crummy choice, but we don't have any other choice. So think of it like a falsified natural selection process. The men that normally wouldn't have had the opportunity to have children in the animal kingdom were given the opportunity by this man-made patriarchal societal structure. And we're always starting to see is a correction on that, whereby natural selection has gone back to how it would have been in the animal kingdom. When a female doesn't have an appropriate or sufficient mate, they just don't reproduce. And the stats speak for themselves. 40% of women in the next 10 years are going to be child-free. So what are we seeing in response to this? We're starting to see aggressive campaigning to get women back into the kitchen. Why? Because these men need women to be dependent in order for someone to choose them. These low-quality men need women's dependence in order to reproduce and survive, and for women to pick them. If you're a boomer or you're a Gen Xer and you're like, I don't know what this chick's rabbiting on about, I don't see that there's even a problem. I don't see this whole propaganda machine campaign to try and get women dependent and back into the kitchen again. If you don't see that, it's because you're not being targeted. I can also tell you that unlike the efforts that were put into getting women back into the kitchen after World War II, this time it's not going to work.
So y'all will see a common theme with most of the males throughout this video. And I know it's a common thing that most people think that men and women have been socialized to act differently. I feel, I could be wrong. I feel like women have been socialized to act differently, more so than men. I feel like for the most part, men are doing exactly what they want to do and being exactly who they've always been.
Infanticide, or the killing of a calf, is usually done by male giraffes to bring the mother back into heat. But in rare cases, females do it too. The reasons: competition for food, social stress, or aggression towards a rival's calf. It's a sight of giraffes most never imagine, a reminder the wild is both beautiful and brutal.
Did you know that some enslaved mothers in the Americas took the heartbreaking step of killing their own children, just to save them from slavery? During the 18th and 19th centuries, enslaved women faced an unimaginable reality. Their children were born into chains, destined for a life of brutal labor and abuse. In acts of both despair and defiance, some mothers chose infanticide, believing that death was the only way to protect their babies from a lifetime of suffering. These were not acts of cruelty, but acts of resistance. For some, it was a desperate attempt to give their children the only freedom they could, freedom from bondage. Enslavers knew suspicious infant death rates led to tighter surveillance over pregnancy, breastfeeding, and nursery spaces. The reproductive lives of Black women became even more heavily policed. Infanticide is one of the most painful, least discussed forms of resistance in slavery's history. But it forces us to confront the impossible choices Black mothers faced in a system that commodified life itself.
So what I got out of that is the females have logical reasons to do it and the males don't. They just do it for sex and mating reasons. But the females do it for resources and for survival.
Female infanticide is a big issue in my community. Specifically in India, it's one of the countries where female infanticide is the highest. So women are seen as a burden. Often, to marry them off, you have to give dowry, all of this. So it's not always celebrated to have a girl child.
Okay.
And so when I was born, my grandmother, his mother, called him to deliver the sad news that it was a girl. And my dad, often there's lots of men in the community who would think that that is sad news. And they would blame their wives and, that whole cycle. And there's many who wouldn't, and that are very, progressive thinkers. And he was one of them. And he was like, if that's how you're going to see my child, please, don't call me again.
Did you know that male dolphins kill their babies only to be able to reproduce with the females in peace? First off, male dolphins start by forming brutal gangs, and then they start searching for a female to mate with them. But there's just one problem. She's too busy raising someone else's kid. So what do? The male dolphins have developed a shocking tactic. They will immediately target and eliminate those babies. Here's where it gets disturbing. The male will not just eliminate the baby at once, he will ram it, drown it, toss it like a beach ball, over and over, until it's dead. Why? Because once the baby's gone, the mother stops lactating, and becomes fertile again. And guess who's right there to offer his, services? Also, this isn't rare behavior. It's been documented across multiple dolphin pods. It's pure, cold-blooded strategy that scientists call infanticide, but it's basically calculated reproductive sabotage, and it works. So next time you see a dolphin doing flips at a water park, just remember behind that cute grin, might be a baby-killing maniac with a plan.
Next to well-kept graves, a group of others, where the grass has grown wild.
This is the grave of one of the Japanese children.
According to these women, these are the graves of the babies they had with Japanese men, babies who were systematically killed after they were born. Even points out the grave of her baby.
The Japanese doctor took my child and went over there with his doctor friends. I stayed outside. They talked to each other, and when they came out, we got in the car and left. And my baby died.
We spent the night with our baby
He was fine. In the morning, I left him with his Japanese father. I went to get water. When I got back, the baby was weak. We went to the hospital and the baby got weaker and died. I had 8 children who are still alive. Only my Japanese child died.
I had a baby with a Japanese man who died. I've had 7 since and they're all alive.
I had 1 Japanese baby who died. The other 7 children lived.
Was it infanticide? Perhaps. But 29-year-old Nana was born in the same era from a Congolese mother and a Japanese father. Today, she calls herself a survivor.
So again, the males are the problem. It's not Japanese women over there committing infanticide. It is the Japanese males. I feel like patriarchy, racism, and misogyny go hand in hand. It's not that I feel like it. That's a fact. Those 3 go all hand in hand. And I know during like slavery, white women were killing the children too. But I feel like if we weren't in those conditions and the men weren't doing what they were doing and putting women in that position, I don't feel like women would have been doing that naturally. I feel like the women just followed them, some out of fear and some because they wanted to, because that's how they were conditioned to treat other children. I could be wrong. I just don't see females doing so many horrific things without the influence of males.
Shit, the Epstein files have been released and now we all know that a bunch of pedos, cannibalistic murderers run the world. Fuck. Completely separate news though. Did you know that bonobos, who are the peace-loving primates, or as we once thought, recently 5 female bonobos just fucking jumped a male bonobo and absolutely beat him to fucking shit. These are hippies. Bonobos are hippie monkeys, peace-loving. They're fucking each other day in, day out. And for the first time ever recorded, scientists watched 5 female bonobos jump this 1 male bonobo. Bonobos are matriarchal, by the way, so the women run all the shit. Why did they jump this fucking male bonobo? Because this male bonobo was trying to kill a baby bonobo. Not only did they beat his ass, they chewed his fucking testicles off. Picture this, right? Male bonobo, I'm gonna kill this fucking baby. Tries to kill the baby. 5 female bonobos jump his ass. This guy, this bonobo's been living with them for 20 years. He's a 20-year-old bonobo. He is their friend, but they drew the fucking line. Monkeys were able to draw the fucking line, and we're meant to be the smart ones. They chewed his fucking balls off. And they were fucking on top of him while they fucked him up. The female bonobos were fucking grinding it up. Moral of the story, lesbians, hello.
So I know a lot of people are arrogant and egotistical and think that we're better than animals and that we aren't animals. By the looks of it, we aren't better than animals. We are dumber than animals as the female species because we have been taken out of our rightful place as the leaders and the protectors of this planet. So the female animals have it on lock there. But the male animals, y'all can see they pretty much act like male humans. I know a lot of people think that men act the way that they act because they've been socialized by the patriarchy and by religion to act the way they act. No, they already acted the way that they act. They think that they own the women. They think that they can take whatever they want, kill whatever they want, whoever they want. And you see that in nature. The animals are not socialized. They're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. They're being violent. The women or the females are forming groups and they're protecting each other and helping each other and doing what they have to do to the males. Be it eat the male after they mate, bite their head off, play dead, kick the beads out, just whatever they have to do, they have adapted and they are doing what is necessary. So I'm praying that more women will start seeing we're so far removed from our natural habitat and way of being. And I pray that women will wake up, get more woke, start looking into this stuff. Please share these videos, y'all.
I think we can all pretty much universally accept that mosquitoes are annoying bloodsuckers, but have you ever stopped to ask why they do this? Or better yet, did you know that only female mosquitoes bite? And spoiler alert, it's not because they're hungry. Male mosquitoes never suck blood, ever. They live perfectly fine on nectar and plant sugars without ever bothering us. Blood sucking happens for one reason only, and that is eggs. Female mosquitoes don't even suck blood for them. It's solely for their young. Their babies need the proteins, amino acids, and iron in our blood to nurture their eggs. And they do this at great risk to their own lives. Imagine you're a tiny mosquito and your task is to draw blood from an organism that is literally a 58-story skyscraper compared to you. One swat and it's game over. So mosquitoes' sole purpose isn't to terrorize you. They're actually just trying to keep their babies alive.
Before women created men, we just cloned ourselves. This is scientifically accurate. All species, including the ones that we as humans evolved from, used to be 100% female. Welcome to our Women Gone Feral series, where we look to women in the animal kingdom for some inspiration and possibly ideas of how we want to be authentically women as human women. So some species decided to create men for like DEI purposes. We'll get back to that, but some didn't. This is the whiptail lizard. It's literally in my backyard. I see these all the time in Santa Fe. And when I see them, I'm like, hey, lesbians! And I'm right every single time. Because 100% of whiptail lizards are women. And they get it on with each other. There's tail wagging, there's switching positions. And in fact, it feels so good that they both ovulate and then clone themselves. So evolution-wise, we're going along, we're all women, we're having a great time. But we've got like a heart for DEI, and having dudes around creates more diversity genetically. And so we as women created men to be a helpmeet so that we would have more diversity, which I think is so funny, because it's like the opposite of the made-up Adam and Eve story of like, Eve came from Adam's rib, men made women. But in reality, we as women literally made men. I mean, we made that choice, but the whiptail lizard didn't. So without DEI, men wouldn't exist. But on the plus side, men do create more diversity. Unless, of course, you're a species of all females that have found a way to be stronger than ever without ever making men.
The function of the human body is to survive, repair, and reproduce. And there are a lot of men and women right now that are suffering with infertility issues. And it's not because you're unlucky. It's actually a defense mechanism by your body. If your health levels fall below a certain point, your body is going to be forced to make certain decisions for you, decisions that you may not agree with. As a woman, your body may choose to protect and save you, and to protect and save you, it may cause infertility, sterility, because your body knows that in an unhealthy state, you might not be able to survive that pregnancy. Infertility and sterility in men and women are signs of poor health. For men, it's simple. When you are weak, toxic, or sick, your sperm count goes down. American men, or men that are living in America following the SAD diet, their sperm count is way less than what it was 70 or 100 years ago. Also, when you are unhealthy, your hormone levels go down, your circulation gets clogged, and your ability to maintain or get an erect penis, that function is lost. Nature's response to sickness and disease is loss of reproductive function.
I'm gonna say, when they find out about the study that just came out showing that the DNA in women's eggs basically stay the same their entire lives. However, men's sperm degrade as they get older. That's right, men have a biological clock. If you ever wanted to be a dad to a happy, healthy baby, the clock is ticking. Research is in, and it has found that as men cross into their 40s, there is a measurable increase in DNA fragmentation, mutation, and oxidative damage to sperm. And that doesn't just mean a drop in fertility. It means that men, as they get into their 40s, may still be able to conceive naturally, but it raises the risk of genetic anomalies, slower development, and even some health outcomes in their offspring. Imagine everything our ancestors went through just for scientists to finally prove. Not only is it the male who contributes to what the gender of the child ends up being, but the overall health, the development of the fetus, all of this can be linked back to poor sperm from the male.
Sexism is killing birds. I've talked in the past about how researchers took decades to realize that Pinyon-Jay hierarchies were female-led, and how female birdsong was almost completely ignored until women were allowed to get graduate degrees. Now I find out that conservation itself is biased. Now I'm just a plucky guy on the internet, but guys, it's almost like this is a systematic branch of patriarchal ideology that justifies and rationalizes a patriarchal social order. And like silly putty left out in the sun, it is a slime that has gotten into everything. I came across this when reading Rosemary Moscow's extremely droll of the Birding Dictionary under the entry Female Bird Day. These biases have consequences for conservation efforts. In some species, males and females occupy different habitats at certain times of the year. But male-focused conservation plans leave the females open to threats. Some readers may find this situation surprising. Others are rolling their eyes and muttering, "Of course," with a soul-deep weariness. Here's a good measurable example. The study's called Overlooked Sexual Segregation of Habitats exposes female migratory landbirds to threats. It's about golden-winged warblers, and like many species, when it's non-breeding season, the males and females don't want anything to do with each other. Kind of like how when a group of women are dancing together at the club, they don't need you asking if you believe in love at first sight or should you walk by again. They just want to have fun with their friends and being left alone. I'm sorry to be the one to break it to you. This all has management implications. Golden-winged warblers are declining and non-breeding habitat disappearing is a major concern. An even bigger concern when managers ignore half the species. They breed in eastern United States, then head south to Belize, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, and Panama to live out the rest of the year. Apparently they like the bug version of Pepion or arroz ancha. In this part of their territory, female warblers like mid-elevation coastal sites on the slopes, and the males prefer the central highlands. I would say it may surprise you to learn that deforestation is happening at a higher rate where females prefer to live, and that the majority of conservation areas designated to help the species are where the males live, but that would be a lie. It shouldn't surprise any of us. A meta-analysis of North American birds found that this persists across species. And in total, only 3% of the models and 8% of conservation recommendations even considered sexual segregation at all. That sucks. In Carmen Criado Perez's book, Invisible Women, this phenomenon is distilled across all species. Quote, "The result of this deeply male-dominated culture is that the male experience, the male perspective, has come to be seen as universal, while the female experience, that of half the global population after all, is seen as, well, niche. Like crash test dummies only being designed for male physiques, and when female versions are made, they only put them in the passenger seat. The consequences are deadly and pernicious."
You know what men, and mostly conservative men, and the government don't understand is that women love children so much that we refuse to bring them into a world that hurts them to the degree that it is hurting them now. This isn't just about women's choices. This is also about protecting children. I mean, we are looking at entire institutions which are turning around and protecting men who essay children. And I'm talking about the highest office in the land. Why would women want to bring children into a world like that? And don't come over here and tell me, oh, but women used to do it all the time. We didn't have a choice back then. Do you know how many children were born because of SA? They were born because women were SA'd. We will not bring children into a world like this. Fix it. If you don't fix it, we will fix it for you. Matriarchy is the natural way of the world. It is not patriarchy. I'm letting you know right now, that is where we are heading.
It's that time of year when the female bees kick all the male bees out of the hive, and they don't let them back in, so they either starve or freeze to death. Since mating season is over and the male bees don't do any work inside the hive, they are really just extra mouths to feed in the winter when food is scarce. So the female bees have to kick the male bees out for the good of the colony and so the bees can survive until spring.
All the male bees have received their eviction notice and are being kicked out this week. Unfortunately, that also includes all the undeveloped male baby bees, like this one, just days away from emerging from his cell. So every year around mid-fall, the female bees instinctively root out every single male, no matter their age, to conserve their precious food stores and boost the colony's chances of surviving the winter. Now, adult male bees are bigger, so you might think they'd have a fighting chance, but since male bees don't have stingers, they're pretty much defenseless. And to make sure they're no threat, the female worker bees will weaken the males days before the eviction by starving them. They'll block their access to food, so by the time they're kicked out, they're usually too weak to fight back. Now, some of the stronger males may attempt to return to the hive, but guard bees stand ready at the entrance to forcibly remove them again. And in some cases, they'll even bite off their wings to prevent them from flying back in. So this all may seem harsh, but the female bees understand that for the colony to make it through the winter, they need to conserve every bit of their honey. And since male bees don't contribute to the hive's survival, like keeping the hive warm or tending to the queen, the female worker bees have no choice but to kick them out for the greater good of the hive.
250-pound black bear has given birth to an 8-ounce cub. She hasn't eaten or had a sip of water since October, yet she'll nurse him every few hours for the next 3 months, converting her stored-up body fat into milk. Mother and cub sleep in each other's arms, waiting for the seasons to change. Spring once more. Just a few months old, the baby black bear is only beginning to learn the ropes of life in the woods. A single mother and child.
Did y'all hear what he said? A single mother and child. She is doing it on her own, by herself. Daddy is nowhere to be found. Most of the time in nature, the daddy will be nowhere to be found. He will just drop his load and leave. So y'all need to stop letting people shame y'all for being single mothers, because when you're a single mother, that just means you made a choice that you had to make for you and your child, and you're doing it on your own. But there is a better way. It is called a matriarchy. You will get help, you will get support, and everybody would be fine.
He is all she has, and she is his entire world.
Everything you know about alpha wolves is probably wrong. When I visited the Apex Wolf Sanctuary, I learned that alphas are often the most nurturing wolves. They guide and teach other wolves to ensure pack cohesion.
If this is the case, we should never ever hear men, especially men in the red pill or manosphere sectors, say that they are alpha males.
This wolf held back so she could see that everyone else was safe.
Did y'all notice how she said she could see that everyone was safe? She didn't say he. When these men are talking about alphas, they're talking about themselves. They're talking about alpha males. But if y'all know, men do not do this. Men do not care if everyone else is safe. Men are pretty self-absorbed and egotistical.
Scientists who coined the term alpha wolf took back the phrase, saying that leaders are often just parents tending to their young. In fact, many packs, including ones at this sanctuary, are matriarchies. So next time someone says that they're an alpha, just know it means that they're caring and supportive and maybe a little bit of a cuddlebug.
Basically, it's saying that males are not leaders, because do y'all really think that males are out here tending to their young?
Ask your dad some questions about you, and I want you to tell me whether he was right or wrong, okay? Okay. All right. When is your daughter's birthday?
Her birthday is, oh my God. Huh? Oh my God, I can't. I am a bad dad, dude.
Who are your daughter's best friends?
Ooh. I would say... I don't know.
Can you name any of your daughter's friends?
Sure.
What grade is your daughter going into?
Oh, kindergarten. Kindergarten.
No!
What did your daughter dress up as for Halloween last year?
Cow.
No! Fish!
Oh, fish! Oh, fish!
My dad is doing all the wrong answers.
What is your daughter's middle name?
What? No, it's Michaela. No, I don't know. You don't have a middle name.
Yeah, I do.
Does your daughter play any instruments?
She plays the recorder.
No.
What did your daughter dress up as for Halloween this last year?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Wednesday? No? I feel like you were like some kind of pop star or like an artist or something.
I was the Toy Story alien.
Yeah, that's right.
Can you name any of your son's current teachers?
None.
How many of the 1983 New York Islanders can you name?
All of them.
No problem.
Very good.
Yeah.
What is your son's birthday?
No, that's a good one. That's a really good one, because I don't know.
What are your daughter's birthdays?
Why do you do this to me?
What about her?
I give up.
Any guesses?
Yesterday. Oh, yeah, yesterday!
So there are no alpha males. All of the alphas are female, and I just proved it to you.
Follows his ears to a female. But Buzzkill, she just kicks him away. It turns out this happens a lot. In one experiment, researchers tethered females to strands of hair so they could film them flying in slow motion. They found that males get rejected 85% of the time. Ouch. If a male doesn't get the boot, he moves to face her and hangs onto her with his legs. Then he curves his abdomen towards her and uses these tiny claspers to attach to her body and mate in midair for up to 30 seconds.
So there's a surplus of males in nature, and not only with animals, with actual humans. Right now, there are too many men on the planet, which is why they are starting wars. They are taking everybody out. They are just being violent. And that is why you see women naturally choosing not to birth them into these conditions. Animals and insects also have their ways of not bringing young into the world when they know they're in danger. Some animals will eat their young to protect them because they're not in the right environments. Some animals will just kill their young or abandon them and let them die if they're too weak to survive on their own. And she knows that she can't expend her own energy trying to protect that baby and herself. She will let it die to preserve some of her own energy. But women right now are choosing not to have kids because we are in a dangerous situation. That's called natural selection. But what I didn't know, y'all, did y'all know that when women are in stressful, hard times like war and poverty, that they are more likely to have female babies than male babies because male fetuses are weaker and they cannot survive in stressful situations. They just are naturally weaker because they have a broken X chromosome. They have a Y chromosome, which makes them weaker than women. Even though they come from us, they are us. They are lesser than us because they are not full and whole human beings. Did y'all know that? I posted this picture on, I think, my Facebook page earlier. And if y'all hadn't been looking, it's just showing a picture of a woman with her kids and telling y'all exactly what I just said. So that's amazing.
Times lead to more female babies, and this idea is even backed by evolutionary biology. And according to a study back in 1973, nature basically treats reproduction as an investment portfolio. And you can say that at a really high level, nature is playing a numbers game, and men are considered high risk as well as high reward, but women are considered a safe bet. A single healthy man can reproduce with several women, leading to hundreds of offspring. But a sickly as well as weak male can be outcompeted and lead to zero offspring. And a female baby, regardless of whether she's dominant or weak, will have several kids as long as she make it into adulthood. The biological reason for this is that during hard times, pregnant mothers are stressed and female babies are more likely to survive that stress. This is because female babies can alter their genes and survive, while male babies push for growth, leading to a miscarriage. And we also see this in history, since after the collapse of East Germany in 1991, the ratio of male babies dropped to its lowest point since 1946. The same thing actually occurred in New York City after 9/11, as well as during the Great Leap Forward in China. You can say that during hard times, nature prioritizes female babies over male babies. This has probably led to the survival of our species.
Male European frogs fake their own deaths to get rid of males. European common frogs get together in big groups to mate, but there are usually way more male frogs than females. Sometimes a group of males may attempt to mate with one female at the same time. This can be exhausting to the females as most of them get killed in the process. Cleverly, female frogs have come up with a few tricks to dodge these over-enthusiastic males. Some roll onto their backs, making the male let go to avoid drowning. Others make grunt sounds, like the ones male frogs use to tell each other to back off. And here's the most dramatic bit. Some females play dead. They just lay still for a couple of minutes, making the male think they're gone.
This tactic would not work with human males because they don't care if you're dead or alive when they do whatever they're going to do to your corpse. They don't care. You could be in a coma. You could be in a casket, in a morgue. They don't care.
This tactic is mostly used by younger, smaller frogs. Almost half of the female frogs in the study managed to escape using these tricks. Understanding these behaviors could help protect frogs in the future, especially since European common frogs are facing some challenges, including less rain and more droughts. Playing dead is often used by animals as a defense mechanism to deter predators. Predators are often attracted to movement and may lose interest if they believe their prey is already dead. This behavior, known as tonic immobility or playing possum, can increase the animal's chance of survival by making them seem unappealing or allowing them to escape when the predator is momentarily
Today I'm going to be showing you the mating process for my praying mantises. Some of you guys might recognize this little fella. This is Cornbread. A few weeks ago, Cornbread started refusing food, and since then he's become very tired and sluggish. This is normal behavior for male praying mantises to exhibit at the end of their life cycle. So I thought since he's going to die soon, I might as well let him fulfill his purpose and mate with my other praying mantis, Green Bean. The first step to this process is giving Green Bean some food to distract her just so she doesn't kill Cornbread off rip. The second step is the introduction. Cornbread was very excited about this. I haven't seen him perk up or really move at all in the last couple days, and as soon as he saw her, he just went for it. I'm about to show a close-up of them getting it on. If you don't want to see that, look away. Close-up coitus in 3, 2, 1. Yep, there it is. Full transparency, I don't really know how to explain exactly what's going on other than she's just getting pregnant. Most of you have probably heard, but female praying mantises eat the males after they mate. I wanted to try and spare Cornbread from this fate, so I did watch them mate for hours to try and separate them once they were done. But unfortunately, after 8 hours of watching them bump uglies, I had to go to bed because it was midnight. And when I woke up the next morning, there was nothing left of Cornbread besides his wings. So unfortunately, Cornbread did pass, but he got it in first, and now his legacy will live on through his hundreds of children, because the other day, Green Bean finally laid her Ootheca. An Ootheca is a praying mantis egg sac, and it honestly looks alien. It doesn't look like any other egg sac I've ever seen, and it's the texture of styrofoam, which is very strange. I'll keep you guys updated over the next few months with the Ootheca, and I'll let you know when the babies hatch.
Did you know that female spiders eat male spiders after mating, and the reason behind it is pretty dark? This is called sexual cannibalism, and it's more common than you might think. It's thought that female spiders do this to get the extra nutrients they need to produce eggs. Additionally, male spiders are often smaller than female spiders, which makes it easier for the females to eat them.
So frogs are out here rolling over and playing dead. Bees are kicking the males out so the females can survive. They're also kicking out the male babies and letting them die too, because they know that when they grow up, they're going to be useless to the hive and they're going to be no help. But women cannot see this. This is happening in the human species also. Most of the males are useless. They don't want to go to school. They want to take everybody out. They want to go to war. They want to grape you. They want to just have sex, play their video games, and work a little bit if they have to pay their bills. But women are trying to keep bringing these males into their homes, procreating with them and helping them, and then you're getting taken out because you can't help them. It's natural selection if they have to be on the street and just die. And I think that's why the government is wanting to start this war and send them all to the war, because they know it's way too many of them. The people in the government are the ones that need to be going to die in the war too. But they're smart enough to know, no, we're gonna send these other males. Those at the top are smart enough to know what's going on. They're gonna get rich and send the other males to die in their place. But it's just, the animal species, the females in the animal species is so much smarter because they have been left to their natural instincts and their natural way of being. They're so much more inclined to do what they have to do to survive than women are, and it's sad. It hurts me to see it.
Actually not all that important in the lives of a lot of insects. So people have this idea that nature dictates kind of a 1950s sitcom version of what males and females are like, so that males are always supposed to be dominant and aggressive and females are passive and coy. But that's just not the case. In the social insects, the bees and wasps and ants, the individuals that you see every day are always female. My students, for instance, call every animal they see a male. And when I tell them that the ferocious army ant soldiers with their giant jaws used to defend the colony are all always female, they seem to not quite believe me. What can we learn from this? What I think we've done is use males in any species as though they're the model system, the norm. But when we do that, we really miss out on a lot of what nature is like. And it's a problem that actually is part of a much deeper one that has implications for medicine and health and a lot of other aspects of our lives. Insects make us question what's normal and what's natural.
He's not just dancing. He's trying not to die. This tiny male peacock spider performs a risky dance in front of a female, and if she doesn't like it, she might kill and eat him. But if she does like it, they mate. This dance is his only chance to pass on his genes. So every move, every shake, is a gamble between love and death. He raises a colorful fan on his back, vibrates his body, and waves his legs in rhythm, all in perfect coordination. To us, it might look like a cute little dance. But for him, it's a performance with everything on the line, and the female she watches silently, judging. If he impresses her, he lives, and earns the right to mate. If not, he becomes her next meal. Animal mating facts you have not seen before, and the last one is better than you at dancing. Number 1. Male sage grouse perform one of the wildest mating displays in nature. They inflate yellow air sacs in their chests, creating loud pop sounds that can be heard over a mile away. Number 2. In some species of frog, only the strongest male gets to mate, while the losers are left with nothing. These intense battles can last hours. Number 3. Male pufferfish create massive, perfectly symmetrical sand mandalas up to 7 feet wide. These intricate circles are sculpted non-stop for days using only their fins to attract females. Number 4. Male saltwater crocodiles create deep, vibrating growls underwater that produce a stream of rising bubbles. Number 5. Male riflebirds perform a hypnotic moonwalk-style dance, spreading their velvety black wings and flashing iridescent blue-green feathers, all to impress a picky female.
Can propose and actually get married to each other just by using a pebble. You see, during mating season, a male penguin searches for a female in the crowd. If he finds someone he likes, he'll remember her. Then he goes on a mission looking for the perfect pebble he can find. He searches for ones that are shiny, have a flat surface, and are unique. When he finds that rock, he holds it in his beak, carrying it all the way back to his favorite female. It all leads to the moment when the male penguin walks up to the female and places the stone at her feet. If she doesn't pick up the rock, it means she's not interested or already engaged. The male might panic, desperately dropping more and more pebbles to win her heart. But sometimes her partner notices and chases him away. But if she picks up the pebble, it means yes. Then the two will spend days building a nest together and raise their chicks for months, until they grow up. Then every mating season, they meet each other again.
This is the most loyal husband in the animal kingdom. Whenever danger strikes, he will pick up his wife with his claws and run to a safe place on his little legs. However, in particularly dangerous situations, he sometimes ends up grabbing someone else's wife and running away.
So while the male animals are doing all of this to get the attention of the female animals, what are male humans doing to get the attention of female humans? What are they? Half of the male humans, they won't comb their hair. They won't brush their teeth. They wear wrinkled clothes. They don't have a job. They have kids everywhere. They can't fight. They aren't smart. They can't communicate. And women are still giving them a chance. It's looking like the female animals require a lot more out of the male animals to even look at them or give them a chance. They have to do something special to stand out for the female animals to even give them a chance. So far, the female animals are winning over the female humans.
Is it sad or is it funny how absolutely stupid some people are? Now watch this. This lady's very angry at the ducks because the male duck is on top of the female duck, and that's, you know, they're making babies. That's how ducks make babies. And this lady is just freaking out. She wants to call the police and, you know, ring the alarms because of this duck.
Get away from her! Hey! Get off of her! Hey! Stop! Stop it! God damn it, get us a net! Is everybody just standing around?
How do you figure more ducks get made?
I know. She thinks it's...
See, people like this used to be swamp hags that would sell mushrooms, and now we have to let them vote. Isn't that scary?
She did this because females across all species have been observed being protectors of other species. It may not be like the most common thing, but they have been observed protecting the cubs or the animals of other species and also other females of other species. But also, she may know something that most people don't know, which is that male ducks are very aggressive with the female ducks, and they often grape and abuse the female ducks. So maybe her instincts just kicked in and she wanted to protect the duck from being graped.
About to hate male ducks, but please stick around because you are going to then love female ducks. Welcome back to our Women Gone Feral series, where we look to women in the wild for some inspiration about how we can authentically be women as humans. Ew. I cannot tell you how many years I was given side eye to ducks. So there are these gangs of duck incels that go around and forcefully attack the ladies. They have a counterclockwise spiral member that shoots out of their bodies at 75 miles an hour. I thought of showing you a picture, but no, you've got the internet. So if you've seen our Man Science series, you know that what we know more than anything else in the animal kingdom is the members of males. Because man scientists just are obsessed. And when you study just one side of it, like, ew, awful, what are you doing, male duck? And man science, because they just didn't look for a long time, is like, every female body is just a series of boring tubes. Seen one, you seen them all. But not for the female duck. So yeah, it's horrible that these dudes are coming after her. But she has a clockwise spiral V, which literally shuts down male ducks, where there's only a 2% chance of them fertilizing her eggs. And because of the shape of her, when he comes at her at 75 miles per hour, he reverses back at himself. And the male ducks that fertilize 98% of her eggs are the ones who court her and are kind to her and that she chooses. And a side note, I am observing nature. I'm not saying that any of this is okay. My expertise is on helping people to change their own behavior. I have no idea how to change ducks' behavior. And by the way, female dolphins do this too. If there's something happening that she doesn't want to be a part of, she can just turn her body in the water, and she's got a whole maze going on down there. So she just sends him down the wrong tube, and he does not go on to the next generation. So taking note of ducks and dolphins, they are literally breeding out aggressive males.
So we're going to talk about what overmating looks like in both chickens and ducks. Unfortunately, we did have to cull 2 of our birds, our rooster for one. You've seen his aggression before in previous videos, but we did also have to cull another drake, which is a male duck, for extreme aggression and a lot of overmating. For chickens, there is no penetration. However, their butts touch, and it can be very aggressive. And I will show a picture right here of what happens when overmating occurs. They lose a lot of their back feathers, and it's just not good. Now, when ducks mate, there is penetration. When it's incredibly aggressive, 2 things can happen. One, you can have a prolapse of the female vent or the penis. And also another sign of overmating is when they also lose their back head feathers. And I will show you what that looks like on our Princess Almond, who's been getting overmated with. But anyways, watch out for overmating. It is now going into springtime, so it is mating season. So keep an eye out, keep an eye on your birds so everybody can be happy and safe.
Now, roosters are the protectors of the flock. Oh, shit! Let go, damn it!
Fried chicken it is.
And that's what you get for lying, sir. We know males are not protectors, and he proved it.
Heartwarming to see a baby swan napping on its mother's back, but here's the twist. It might not even be his mom. In fact, that loving swan couple could actually be two males. Studies show that about 20% of male swans are naturally gay. They'll do whatever it takes to stay together and raise a family. But since two males can't have their own chicks, why do you still see cygnets swimming around with them? Well, swans may look graceful on the outside, but they can be pretty crafty. Two males will sometimes steal eggs from other swans to hatch. They might even seduce a single female just to get her to lay eggs for them. And once the chicks hatch, the pair will chase off the real mom and take over full-time parenting duties themselves. While this behavior may seem morally questionable, but here's the surprising part. Cygnets raised by two dads actually have a higher survival rate. With double the protection and resources, those babies often thrive. Their devotion and care are just as real, and sometimes even more attentive, than any mother swan's. So,
what if homosexuality is natural? A lot of people don't ask themselves that question, but there are a lot of homosexual animals. What if other animals were attracted to the same sex so that there wouldn't be so many males born on the planet? Because there's always, well, right now there's a surplus of males, too many violent males that the government doesn't know what to do with. So what if this was a built-in mechanism to stop so many males from being born?
The evolutionary advantage of homosexuality in nature. There are over 450 documented species with same-sex couples, including the Adelie penguin. Same-sex penguin couples have been seen exhibiting mating behaviors with each other. Now, the idea of homosexuality has been called an environmental paradox because of the idea that the purpose of life is to reproduce, and same-sex couples can't reproduce. Studies on the subject have found that homosexuality in the animal world provides an opportunity for young that have lost their parents for whatever reason to be raised by another couple, like adopted parents. This in turn helps to promote the success of the overall species.
Did you know 1 in 4 black swan couples are gay? Professor Mulder and his team at Melbourne University estimated that up to a third of black swans are homosexual, and that nearly a quarter of all black swan pairings are same-sex couples. Same-sex black swans can have long-lasting relationships, and have even been known to raise offspring together. A female may temporarily associate with a male-male pair, mate with them, and leave her eggs with them. Some studies have shown that same-sex pairings have a higher success rate in raising chicks, about 80% compared to 30% in opposite-sex pairs. Billy and Elliot are two gay swans at Melbourne Zoo. Zookeepers noticed they began courting each other and then built their own nest together.
This is something that we do see in wild swans. Two boys can pair up.
But the two lovers didn't have any offspring to raise, so zookeepers came up with the ingenious idea to 3D print some eggs and place them in their nest. Another same-sex swan couple are in the Abbotsbury Swanery in Weymouth. One of the swan keepers told the Daily Telegraph the two birds both hatched in 2002 and are sort of together, and they get together every nesting season and form a nest together. Going on to say they have some spectacular fights with each other, but they always make up and get back together.
The list of the gayest animals found in nature, starting at number 5 with the Australian black swan, of which 5% of these animals show male-on-male pair bonding. You can also tell they are gay from their gay face. Coming in at number 4, we've got the barnyard sheep. 8% of these rams like to ram other rams. You can tell these gay male sheep are gay based on their gorgeous headpiece. Yes, they like to do drag. Coming in at number 3, we have the western gulls, of which 14% show female-on-female pair bonding. Also, based on the red coloration on the beak, you can tell that these are lipstick lesbians. Coming in at number 2, we've got the grey-leg geese, of which 15% show male-on-male pair bonding. Also, no bi erasure here. 37% of these bad boys are bi. Finally, the gayest of them all is the Laysan albatross, of which 31% show female-on-female pair bonding.
The awesome animals you didn't know were gay. Gay elephants kiss and play with each other's trunks before they mount each other. This gay swan and his husband would try and drown people who got too close to their baby by jumping on top of them, and it turns out their baby was just a plastic cup. All of bonobos are bisexual, and lesbian bonobos will go at it every 2 hours.
However, 2 humpback whales have been spotted mating, and it happened to be 2 males. But there's another twist. It appears one of those males might have been taken advantage of. The sighting occurred off the coast of Hawaii, and it said the two whales approached the photographers and circled the boat before engaging in the act. According to the paper that was released with the photos, injury in one whale may have played a role. The whale on the bottom appeared to be in poor health and unable to escape the grasp of the one on top. The whole affair lasted about 30 minutes before the whale doing the penetrating, quote, dove and did not reappear. And in case you're wondering what a 50-foot whale can be packing, the answer is 10 feet.
Humpback whales save animals that aren't even the same species and willingly risk their own lives to help without any benefit. It begins when a humpback whale specifically hears an orca hunting vocalization, where they'll swim full speed towards a sound. It doesn't matter if there's 5 or 20 orcas, they go straight into the chaos for an interesting reason. Not to hunt, but make their way towards the prey and attempt to interfere. First, they'll place their bodies directly in the middle, between the prey and the orcas, using themselves as a shield to protect, taking on bites and attacks since their bodies have tons of blubber. Or above water, they might slap their tails down to splash and scare them away, or even use their flippers to push and shove them off the prey. But sometimes there's too many orcas to block, so they'll use other tactics instead, like flipping upside down and letting the prey sit on their stomach out of the water in safety, continuously defending the prey for multiple minutes and in rare cases hours until the orcas finally give up and swim away. It's theorized they do this because they have cross-species empathy, it's a misinterpreted instinct to defend their calves, dislike orcas, or a learned behavior from other humpbacks. But these reasons aren't proven, and to this day, scientists still have no clear answer why the humpback decides to be a hero.
I feel like a lot of people know that Black women are the mothers of the earth because a lot of people tell their kids that if they're ever lost to go find a Black woman to help them and protect them. Even though Black women are in this patriarchal system and they're male-minded, and a lot of y'all do protect men over your children, like in a toxic way, I don't think that's natural. I feel like Black women are natural protectors of children, but they've been taken out of their place, so they haven't been protecting as much as we would if we were in nature.
Heard a Caucasian man say that his mother told him when he was a little boy, if you ever lost or in trouble, find you a Black woman. She will help you.
That's interesting. And I know that to be true because as a little boy, when I would be sick, I would call for my mama. And she sometimes would tell my older sister to go see about that boy. And I would say, no, mama, you calm. Don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
So societally, if you put that under a microscope, societally, we are mama.
Yeah.
Let her go. What are you doing with her? What are you doing with her?
Bro, this is man's family, bro. Move. He's not. This is man's family. Move from me, bro.
Is that the same one that just walked past us, Mum? So what are you doing in the corner with her? Are you okay? I'm following you.
Look, why are you fucking stalking man, bro?
Are you okay? Do you know him?
Pray to God that this does not come off as offensive to anybody, because I mean this with the utmost love and respect from the bottom of my whole entire heart. But when a Black woman calls me baby, there is so much. What kind of magic are you putting in there? Because that shit hits harder than crack. Every single time, every encounter in my life that I have had with a Black woman where she calls me baby, I have never felt more loved and supported in my entire life. I feel almost imprinted on. Like, are you my mother? I will go to the ends of the earth for that woman. Okay, ride or die, because it may have just been a very quick one-time encounter for her, but for me, you we're like this. How, call me, beat me if you gotta reach me, because I will do whatever. How can I be of service? Do you need a ride to church? Let me make reparations for my people, because I love you. And I don't know what it is, but goddamn, there's something so special about it. It's magic. I want to have that effect on people. That is beautiful. And I love you. And that's it. I don't know. I've never felt more safe and secure in my life. I love you.
What would drive a predator to defy her instincts and endanger her own life? 2001, the unthinkable happened. Word spread that a lioness in Kenya's Samburu Reserve had taken an antelope calf alive and was guarding it as her own. Saba Douglas Hamilton is wildlife conservationist for the Save the Elephant Trust. She rushed to the reserve to see for herself the lioness and a baby oryx antelope in one of the oddest animal bonds ever seen.
And all of a sudden, there was this completely unheard of situation on our hands of a predator that had adopted its prey.
A huge amount of men between the age of 15 and 50 will not pass on their genes. They will effectively die out of the gene mating pool. So people will hear that and many people will go, well, that's evolution. Should society intervene? In the short term, we're going to have a lot of men who are disillusioned, that become incels, find themselves in pockets of the internet, are resentful, all those kinds of things. But should society intervene to course correct that? Should we put systems in place to make sure that those men meet partners?
Why are we centering incels? Talking about, can we put systems in place? It's giving Handmaid's Tale, bitch. It's giving your personality is ass, bitch. It's giving your dick game is a fucking ass rating, bitch. Are you fucking serious? It is the fucking new year. It's the new year.
Bartlett discusses how incel males are going extinct, unable to pass on their genes due to women not choosing them. But the question beneath that question is harder to ignore. Does Bartlett believe that everyone has a right to reproduce or a right to a partner? Because while concern about male loneliness is growing, it exists alongside another trend. Women are opting out from relationships. It's no news that fertility rates are falling across the world. Gen Z are reported to be having less sex than any generation before them. Research suggests multiple reasons: political divide between men and women becoming more independent, the rise of decentering men, and addiction to social media or porn. Ultimately, women are realizing we no longer need partnership to survive, so we're delaying marriage, avoiding motherhood, or disengaging from dating altogether. Loneliness can't be solved by entitlement, and declining birth rates can't be fixed by matchmaking. So perhaps the real question isn't whether society should help men find partners. We should be asking, what kind of partners do men need to become?
Boys will be boys.
Well, he was drunk.
But he's such a nice guy.
He didn't mean it. He said he was sorry.
It is just a misunderstanding.
It only happened once.
It's none of my business. This is a women's issue.
Yeah, no, we don't talk about that. We're never gonna change it.
It's sad, but we're never gonna fix it.
If you have chickens at home, you probably know that a rooster can't turn into a hen. But did you know that a hen can actually turn into a rooster? If you have a flock of hens with no rooster, something strange might happen. After a few months, you might notice that one of your hens has transformed into a rooster. But how does this happen? Chickens are different from most animals. They are born with both left and right reproductive organs. Under normal conditions, only the left ovary develops, while the right one stays dormant. However, if there's no rooster in the flock, things can change. Over time, the left ovary may shrink and stop functioning. When this happens, one lucky hen starts producing male hormones. This hen will develop a larger comb and even grow a long green rooster-like tail. At this point, it will start behaving just like a rooster. It can mate with the other hens and even fertilize eggs. This natural transformation is an evolutionary survival trait. It ensures that the flock can continue reproducing even without a rooster. Additionally, the new rooster is often larger, making it better at protecting the flock. Nature truly works in mysterious ways.
So basically, the female can turn into a male, but the male cannot turn into a female because he came from her. And I think this is what parthenogenesis was doing. I have seen, have y'all seen the show Siren with the mermaids? It was really good. It had it only had one season, I think. maybe 2. But anyway, it was a show called Siren with mermaids, and they were a matriarchal like group of mermaids. There were men mermaids, but they were matriarchal and the women were in charge. And there were a group of mermaids, I think they were like in Alaska or something, and they were all female and they didn't have any males, so they were dying out and they couldn't like reproduce. And so one of the females, actually, she went through some kind of process that they had to do, and because something was wrong with the water, and so they put her in a pool or like a little lake or something and put the stuff that they needed to put in the water, and she actually turned into a male mermaid in that show. So that is based off of nature. So it's so much that we as women don't know about ourselves. And I think the government and all these scientists know from observing our bodies and observing like nature. It's crazy.
It shows that it might just be possible for females to one day reproduce without men. So a boy goes in for some genetic tests and they find with standard testing that he's got one X chromosome and one Y chromosome, nothing remarkable there. They then test his blood and need to look twice at the results when they see that it's got 2 X chromosomes. What makes this the only documented case in history though is that both X chromosomes came from the mother, so how is that possible? It's called parthenogenesis, and some animals actually reproduce in this way, like Komodo dragons or sharks, but when the egg actually becomes activated in a human and starts reproducing on its own, it generally produces a teratoma. Do yourself a favor and don't look up what that looks like. But what scientists believe happened here was a freak accident where the egg actually started that teratoma process and then became fertilized to halt it.
So Mother Nature says she's tired of male shit, and she knows that women are not going to stop birthing them on their own, and they're not going to stop raping the females in nature. So she had to step in and take over. Right now, the Y chromosome is slowly disappearing globally, which means that the chromosome that makes you a male will no longer exist in the future. Which means I think that women will be able to get back to being parthenogenic.
Y chromosome is slowly disappearing, and honestly, that makes sense. I've already been thinking that the Y chromosome is a defect because an X and an X for a female makes sense and it appears to be stable, but an X and a Y appears that one of the chromosomes literally like has a leg broken off of it, which would be the Y chromosome. So the Y chromosome is literally slowly disappearing. And genuinely, I kind of feel like that's the universe, like just naturally course correcting itself. We've lived in this patriarchal system for too long, and I feel like it's starting to lean towards a matriarchy for the survival of this planet, literally. Like, I feel like it's down to this planet's survival being the reason why the Y chromosome is slowly disappearing, and in 11 million years, it could completely vanish. And that just makes sense to me. It truly does. I feel like X and X actually look equal. And it doesn't look like, you know, something's wrong with that. X and a Y, that doesn't feel as balanced, you know? So I just feel like maybe nature is returning to the natural order of things because we've lived in this man-made patriarchal structure for so long that the universe is basically trying to correct itself and lead us towards matriarchy. Lead us to women actually being the people in power within this world. I feel like that's where the natural power actually is. And the current power dynamic is unbalanced. And it's like not the natural way that things occur if, you know, we weren't inside of this patriarchal system. So that's why I feel like it's kind of, you know, making sense as to why the Y chromosome would be disappearing slowly. Like, that just makes sense to me.
New study has found that flamingos might have a little bit more in common with humans than we previously realized. The new study suggests that flamingos tend to form cliquey friend groups based on personality traits. We did already know that flamingos formed friendship groups and would keep those friends for life, but this new study shows just how picky flamingos are about those friend groups. For example, bolder flamingos tend to hang out with other bolder flamingos, and quieter, more laid-back flamingos tend to hang out with flamingos that are similar to them. Follow me if you could use a little good news every day.
This is probably like the feminist flamingos separating themselves from the pygmies and the male-centered women.
The female releases her eggs into the pouch of the male. It is he who will get pregnant and he who will have to raise and protect their young.
I love you. I will do anything to make you happy.
You said anything?
Yes, I will even grab a star for you. Why did you look at me?
I'm not into stars. I've got something else in mind.
Anything you want.
So that's why you're pregnant?
Yep, I'm carrying our eggs. Oh, wait, it's happening!
What's going on?
The babies are coming out!
Wow! This is true love.
The female seahorses said, yeah, you got this. I'm about to go live my best life.
Hear me out, hear me out. The government doesn't want us planting female trees because female trees bear fruit, which would make us self-sustaining, as well as they only plant male trees because they produce what? Pollen. And who produces the allergy medication for us? Yep, the government. So they produce and plant mostly male trees so that our allergens act us, so us as consumers have to go buy allergy medication and we don't get fruit from the female trees. If y'all can't hear, my allergies are really bothering me and I'm blaming it on the government.
Narrating animal mating dances. This is a hooded seal, and when they get old enough, they grow a disgusting inflatable ball sack on their nose, which is honestly completely out of pocket for Mother Nature. That is unnecessary. But he absolutely cannot wait to show the lady seals, so he's off to go find somebody to mate with. These scenes under the water make me so deeply uncomfortable. I do not like them. He sees this lady, and in the video, I had to pause it and rewind it because it says she's literally nursing a baby. They have 4 days. They have a baby, and 4 days later, they're ready to mate, which she is not. She wants nothing to do with this. This was before her 4 days. He goes to see if she'll mate, but there's another bigger male there, and he has a bigger face balls. So they have to do like the toxic masculinity, shake their balls at each other. You know, he has to scare this one away. And this poor lady, like these are her options. Dumb and Dumber. But the bigger one, I guess, he gives up really easily. Like he's not even that about it, which all it took. During this, the lady seal is like holding completely still, hoping nobody notices she's there, which obviously he finds her. And he starts doing his weird face dance. She's like, you've got to be kidding me. I had a baby 2 days ago. I will kill you. She's so angry. He obviously doesn't take the hint. What a dummy. And then this comes out of his nostril. This is the grand finale. She's like, this cannot be my life right now. He's got whatever that is jangling about on his face. I don't know what happened in evolution that they were like, this is it, the key to our species. She's like, I'm calling the cops. And so she has to physically attack him to make him go away. I hope that she got a restraining order because this was so unpleasant. This poor woman. Look at her. I love her.
We will learn true facts about the anglerfish. The female anglerfish comes in many shapes, colors, and shades of ugly. It's like a rainbow of ugly. The male anglerfish is tiny by comparison, like a tiny little baby. He attaches himself to the female by biting her and then digesting part of his face so he fuses with her flesh. He then atrophies, losing his digestive organs, brain, heart, and eyes, and winds up nothing more than a pair of gonads, which release sperm when needed. Hey there, pretty lady. Nice gonads. To the female anglerfish, the human male is a very loud, annoying, and unnecessarily complicated pair of gonads.
Do I have like a genuine question, and like please answer this like with respect. I'm asking it with respect.
With respect, then, hit me with it.
Is it actually okay to be like a white straight male?
Yes. So why do I get the feeling that's not what this is actually about?
We're in a club and like there's like some feminist dude who's like fat, overweight, doesn't know how to fight, and he comes up to you and slaps you on the ass. Who are you coming to get to help you?
I can tell that you think the answer is straight white men. Newsflash, it is not. Overwhelmingly, it is women who come to the aid of women who are being harassed and assaulted. And the simple explanation here is that women can empathize with other women. And research has consistently found that the ability to identify with or relate to people who are facing harassment or violence is a major factor in deciding whether to intervene. Men, on the other hand, are more likely to say that it was none of their business or that they simply did not feel responsible.
You can march all you want. You can dye your hair any color you want. You can grow your armpits out as long as you want. I don't give a fuck.
I don't know, it kinda sounds like you do.
But you're not doing anything. All you're doing is making yourself unappealing as fuck.
I get it now. So, when you said this,
Is it actually okay to be like a white, straight male?
what you meant is it okay to be a controlling, narcissistic, misogynist douchebag? In which case, the answer is no. Glad I could clear that up for you.
Male animals are out here dancing and showing their feathers. They're still graping. They're just doing the most, bringing pebbles, building homes and nests, trying to be worthy of these females in nature. And we have women, I'm gonna talk about black women, black women online doing and saying some of the craziest stuff. Granted, I know that we are not in a natural setup. We're not in nature like these animals and insects. That is why the women are saying and doing the things that they are doing, because they have not broken away from patriarchy and the male-minded like programming, the cult of patriarchy and religion. So therefore our girls and our boys are not protected. So you'll see things like what I'm about to show you all the time. All you got to do is go online and you'll see stuff like this all the time until we get out of this and we get back in a matriarchy.
I saw a video of a little boy saying that he don't respect people or women who feed the men before the children in the house.
I think a lot of these males see women worshiping them and they lose respect for women because they know that women are above them and they see women bringing themselves down so low, just really low, and putting them before their actual offspring. And I think innately it makes them lose respect for women because they know the power of women. They know that women birth nations and that is powerful. And they see women putting their creation above themselves, and that's not natural.
That's my culture, sweetheart. That's my culture. That's what I was raised to do. My mama taught me to feed the man, serve him, and de-serve him. Take his plate up, put that shit in the kitchen, wash your dishes, give us some boom boom. That's my culture, baby.
Oh, scenario. You're married with a child. Yes. You and your husband and your child go out on your sailboat. Okay. The sailboat gets struck. It's sinking.
Yeah.
Who are you going to save? The child or your husband?
Look, I would choose my child's father.
A female in the wild would never.
Jetzt kommt der Papa.
Alles gut.
Ja, ja, sie schafft es. Die Mama hat
because we can make more children. This is an impossible choice. You also have to understand that my hierarchy in my life.
I agree.
God, my man,
husband,
my children.
If my God made me this stupid and this heartless as to not care about the child that I was pregnant with for almost 10 months and that I could have died for growing in my body, if my God made me this stupid, I don't think that he would be my God. I've never had these thoughts in my mind ever. And I was a Christian when I first started having my kids. Well, when I had both of my kids, I was in the church for a decade and I would have never even thought to answer this question like that.
Thing else.
And also, I just want to emphasize spouse.
Your baby and your man is in the water.
Yeah.
Your baby look like a baby. Your man look like a grown man. I'm saving my baby. Like, I love my wife, but like, I just feel like.
Even some men disagree with this. The men can't even believe that women have no motherly or protective instincts when it comes to their kids.
What if she's incapacitated? What if she's knocked out?
I feel like she would be mad at me if I saved her.
She would, but she would get over it. Because now you a single daddy.
As a man, I can't even like go back and be like, oh yeah, I saved my wife, I let the baby die. Who am I gonna go tell that story to?
Everybody.
So why are you just getting here? I told you go to that birthday party and bring your ass home last night. So you just coming home to my house, and the boys just get here from their family house. So why were you here?
It's because you wasn't here, and I just went to her house because you was at work. And your man was here, I don't want to be around him.
Okay.
And our cousin wasn't here either.
Okay, what you mean you don't want to be around him? What the fuck you
Because he keeps staring at me. He be peeping in my room and stuff.
So, okay, when this man started peeping in your room, really?
He been peeping in my room.
Okay, so what you trying to say? He trying you? He trying to do something?
He always peeping at me.
Okay, that man don't want you. That man do not want you, girl, please.
This is why I didn't tell you, because you always choosing him over me.
I'm choosing him over you when I'm telling you this man don't want your ass.
You don't believe me.
Okay, but you ain't been telling me this. You telling me now? And I promise you better be out there telling them girls and your friends that. Because that man do not want you. Stop lying on my man.
He does keep looking at me. He always looking at me when I'm walking in my room.
You okay? Why the fuck you been told me then if this man been looking at you? Girl, get out my face lying on my man. You disrespectful. You lying. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. Lying on that man. Grown disrespectful ass. It matters. Don't lie on my man.
Well aware that a lot of these are skits, and this may be a skit, but this is a scenario that goes on all too often with women and their girls and their men. So that is why I played it, and this is a result of being in a patriarchy and not being in your natural state where you don't feel the need to protect your offspring.
And one thing about it, when I have kids, my kids will know that my husband comes first. I never want my kids to ever in their mind think that they come before my husband. Absolutely not.
Women like this should never have kids. Women like this are very dangerous to their kids. What happens if your husband leaves you? Like, if you get another man, will you feel that same way about another man that is not your child's father? So what happens if that man does something to your kid, or even your husband, if he does something to your kid? Since you put him first, are you going to believe that man over your kids? Women who say stuff like this are very unfit mothers. And most of the times, if something happens with that woman, she gets sick, or if she's in a car wreck, it would be her kids, especially her daughters, that will be there for her. But this is how women treat their daughters. In the end, your daughter is most likely the one that's going to take care of you. Even if you treat them like trash, she would treat her daughter like trash. And this is why we have so many kids that are cutting off their parents, because they were horrible parents. And in their mind, religion taught them that this was normal. So in their mind, they are dead set on being right, and they believe they did nothing wrong, and the kids were just ungrateful. And meanwhile,
they found out she had a brain tumor. My stepdad asked, "Who's going to take care of me now?" My mother got cancer in 2016, and for a moment, she lost her life. But doctors were able to bring her back. Her husband at the time was mad that they saved her. So I picked her up from the hospital. I took care of her alone, and he never came back. In 2017, I got cancer. My boyfriend of 2 years changed the locks, leaving me and my 3-year-old homeless. Stated that it was too much drama for him. When I was diagnosed with cancer, my husband said, "Why is it always all about you?" These are a few of the things my husband told me after I was diagnosed. This is hard for me too, you know. I can't look after you. You should be able to look after the kids.
I want to read you some comments from a thread on one of my videos. I married the nicest, most caring, chivalrous man I'd ever met. Left me penniless because I got cancer. I can't be with a sick person, he said. I met the kindest, nicest man ever. And then when I was in the hospital, he left me, no contact. And I got a letter in the mail 3 months later saying, I love you, but I've decided to divorce you. Something about how my health issues were too much for him to handle. I've been abandoned postpartum because I'm having trouble keeping up with chores. Mine divorced me when I got sick too. My paychecks dried up. I wasn't useful anymore. 15 years of that facade. I got abandoned for a spinal injury. I believed he was my best friend. We'd been together for well over a decade. Mine was horrible, life-altering, 10-month-long depression. Married 35 years, got diagnosed with lupus 5 years ago. He left last year. Mine left when I was getting chemo because he didn't feel loved. When I was in grade school, my teacher got pancreatic cancer and had a special needs son. The husband left her for a mistress during treatment. My auntie stayed with her cheating husband while he was sick and took care of him. The moment he got better, he left her and their child. 11 years, 3 living children, and 1 who passed. I had a vestibular disorder and refused to go gamble and to bars, so he cheated. He asked me to stay somewhere else to recover for my hysterectomy due to cancer because it was negative to be around me recovering from cancer and surgery. You need to understand that when men take those vows of in sickness and health, they mean their sickness and your good health.
So that's all I have for now, ladies. I hope we are learning something, and I hope that we are putting what we're learning into good use. I'm seeing so many content creators who are announcing their marriages and engagements and pregnancies, and this is just the women who had to touch the stove first, and that's okay, because some people will have to touch the stove and some people will not. They will just learn from others around them. But either way, women are going to learn. Women are going to learn the easy way or the hard way, and the choice is up to them. I just watched a video of I Am Eloho. I used to follow her. I haven't really been following her, but since I stopped following her, she got married, she had a baby, she got divorced because he wasn't who he said he was. He was abusive and narcissistic. I want to do commentary on that video. I'm trying to figure out how I can do commentary on it. But yeah, her story is not rare. It is the typical story, and I think she's been divorced like maybe 2 years now, if that, and she's dating somebody else already. So she's one of the ones who has to touch the stove, and that's okay because she has to live and learn, and that's okay. We all do. So get down in the comments and let me know what y'all thought about this video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will talk to you ladies later. Bye.
Oh my god! Zoom in, zoom in.
Oh, there go the cubs.